some new weight loss tips and tricks today. I'm going to talk about the haters, the different haters that you run into along your weight loss journey, and how you can interact with them, avoid them, and survive them, really. So there's 3 types of main haters that I have seen along my weight loss journey and that all my ladies that I coach end up coming in contact with. Now, the first type of hater is the saboteur. And this is the person that, whether they're a good person or a bad person, whether they have good intentions or bad intentions, they always seem to be tempting you or trying to derail your diet. And they're the people that, say things like, one bite won't hurt. Oh, why can't you just have one drink? Or start fresh tomorrow, or live a little. You deserve it. Reward yourself. They say things like this because what they are hoping for is that you come join them in their behavior. They look at you and they feel bad for doing what they know they shouldn't be doing, so they want to drag you down with them. And this can be done consciously or subconsciously on their end, but that's kind of the thought process around what's happening. And so if you have people like this in your life, what you need to be doing is you need to be setting boundaries. Now, we have to remember that setting boundaries takes practice. It's kind of like training a dog. You're not going to get it there, or they're not going to get it on the first try. So don't get discouraged. Don't back down. I know it's a little uncomfortable at first, especially if you're new to setting boundaries, or that person that's the saboteur is a little bit of a stronger personality. But you have to protect your energy and protect your bubble and protect your progress and put your foot down. So you have to say, please stop asking. Please don't ask again. I'm not going to say it again. My answer is no, right? Because the more you have to say no to something, the more likely you are to say yes to something. And so your best line of defense with a saboteur is, number 1, obviously you want to decrease your interaction with them, because the more you're tempted, the harder it's going to be for you, right? We don't have superhuman willpower, and that's okay. You don't need it. But you will need it if you're in positions like that, and it's just unrealistic to have superhuman willpower all the time. So reduce your exposure to them if possible, and then don't be afraid to start setting boundaries, right? Little boundaries, little comments, let them know that they're overstepping in a polite way, and then, put your foot down, because you are important. It doesn't matter if you hurt someone's feelings. Your journey, your weight loss, your health is important. So that's how you handle the saboteur. Now, the second type of hater that I run into is the backhanded compliment. So these type of people, they're the ones that will say things like, oh my goodness, you look so good. I would look good too if I didn't have X, Y, and Z, or if I didn't have to do X, Y, and Z, right? So, if you have 3 kids and they have 4 kids, they'll be like, oh, I've got 1 extra kid, that keeps me busier, so I can't do what you did. Or if you're 49 and they're 52, they'll say things like, oh, if I was in my 40s, I could do it too. Right? So they give you a compliment, but then they almost invalidate your effort next. And these people are really sneaky, because you leave feeling violated almost. You're like, huh? You don't feel very good about yourself. You don't feel like you worked very hard, or like your accomplishments were that amazing, because they make them seem smaller. And basically, this type of person is just looking for a reason as to why they can't reach their goal. And they just want to stay comfy in their bubble and not keep trying. And so it's as uncomfortable as it is, and as demotivating as it can be if you let it penetrate your bubble, you have to realize that this type of person is only projecting a problem for every solution, right? So you just have to, again, if you can, you want to distance yourself from these people. You want to not interact with them too much if you can. And then when you do have to interact with them, just listen and move on. Just change the subject. Change the subject to something else. We don't need to talk about health. We don't need to talk about your weight loss. Change the subject. How are your kids doing? Right? Something like that. Because it's just going to go nowhere very quickly. And all they're going to do is they're going to just, vomit out excuses as to why they can't do it. And then basically, you're going to start to inherit that energy, that I can't do it energy, or maybe my results aren't that impressive energy. Either way, it's not going to help you. It's going to put you in not the best mental state, and they're kind of draining you. They're draining energy from you, and it's just not worth your time to engage in that type of conversation. Anything you've done to better your health is important and amazing, no matter how small. So don't let people invalidate you, and realize they're not invalidating you. They're just trying to make themselves feel better. So that's the second type of hater. Now, the third type of hater that I run into is the all about meers. That's what I call them. And basically, this is the type of person, and I find that this is probably the most common. Like, everybody is this type of person at one point. And what this person does is, if you're having a conversation with them, and they see that you've lost weight, or they see that you look healthier, or you're wearing smaller clothes, or whatever it is, they notice, and then they ask, hey, what are you doing? And they seem interested, and they seem intrigued. And the thing about this is, if you've ever been on a weight loss journey, or you've been on it long enough, you know that it is an incredible transformation. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you change who you are, really and truly. And it can be a very lonely journey because, I mean, there's an obesity epidemic in North America, and so not many people understand the weight loss journey. And so when you go through it, it can be lonely because there's very few people to relate to. And so if you're in a conversation and somebody finally asks you, what are you doing? Tell me about it. We get excited. And then we want to share. We explode with our excitement and we explode with what we're learning. But unfortunately, this type of person, the all about meers, they only asked you what you're doing so they could tell you what they were doing. And very quickly you get frustrated because it's like talking to a wall. They weren't asking you for help. They just wanted to tell you what they were trying so they could feel better about their actions, right? So they asked you what you were doing because they're probably either not seeing results or not sticking to what they should be doing and not seeing results. And so they just want to quickly hear if you have a magic solution. And then when you don't, then they start talking about everything they've been doing to make themselves feel better about thinking that they've been trying, right? At least they tried. Hey, I'm doing this. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If it's not you working hard, if it's not you being strategic, if it's not you doing something specifically for your goal, if you're just trying everything you see and hear about, what's the point? And so that type of person is stealing your energy because you want to share and you want to help other people because you know how awesome it is. This type of person is trying to temporarily steal your energy to feel just as good as you are because when you go away, they lose that energy too. So if this is a type of person that you run into often where they're always asking you what they're doing, but they're doing nothing with the information you tell them, they're never reaching out or trying that program or implementing your advice, then very simply, just flip the switch. Just change the topic. Change the topic. Ask them about them. You do not have to waste your energy on these people. You do not have to waste your important advice on these people. What you have to say is important. If you've lost weight, if you are on this journey, you are learning. And somebody can learn and grow from what you've learned and share. And so make sure that you are protecting your advice. Your advice is sacred. Your opinion is sacred when it comes to what you know about on your body with your weight loss journey. So not everybody gets to hear it. Stop giving your advice away for free. There's an energy tax that comes with giving your advice away for free. So if somebody's asking you what you're doing, they're taxing you. Don't let them tax you because they don't care. And if somebody really, truly cares and wants to know and wants to help, they will try again and again and again and again, and you will know. You will know when it's the right time. But if, just random people or people who are acquaintances or see that you're changing or finally reaching out, do not waste your advice unless they are very serious. And the only way you know they're very serious if they're very persistent. But most of the time, they're all about mirrors. These type of haters on your journey who just want to hear what you have to say so then they can tell you what they've done and feel really good that I did what I was supposed to do, even though they're not seeing results. So those are the 3 types of haters that I see on my weight loss journey and that women come to me struggling with knowing how to deal with. Now, the most important thing with haters here is to remember at the end of the day, you are the one that goes to sleep on the pillow with yourself alone. It's you. You are the closest, biggest relationship you're ever going to have in your life. So if you are happy, if you are healthy, if you are content, if you've put in a hard day's work, then that is all that matters. And nobody's other opinion plays any effect if you know in your heart and your mind that you're doing your best. People project. People are unhappy. People are struggling too. And they just project. Don't take anything personally. If you are happy, if you're feeling good, it doesn't matter if somebody thinks you don't look good. It doesn't matter if somebody thinks you should stop losing weight and don't lose any more. It doesn't matter if what you're doing somebody is questioning and thinking it's unhealthy or not working or it sounds dumb. It doesn't matter. What matters is how you view yourself. And if you can go to bed proud every night, you've accomplished your goal. So silence out the haters by having a wall, a bubble of protective energy. Don't give your advice out for free. Avoid these types of people as much as possible. And then just avoid the topic of weight loss and your journey altogether and just flip it around, because they're not really going to appreciate it or contribute. They're just taking from you. They're not going to be giving from you in that certain